You know, Bun politics and a PG this, you know. Brother.
Hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Come and sit down under this cool shade in this Sunday evening here and let us have a reasoning. I've been trying to talk about this for the past few days over here, but I've been so busy talking about the Olympic. So today is the closing ceremony of the Olympic. Now I have the time to sit under this shade and reason with you guys. So I hope everybody's been doing well, you know. And I'm sorry that I haven't talked to you guys for a while, but this Olympic has been weird and it's been exciting. On this channel, I don't really talk about dancehall people or reggae people or celebrity and strictly politics. Almost everything surrounding the Vybz Kartel case in recent times has come down to politics. His lawyer is a member of the PNP or was a member of the PNP, and he was appointed, I think, human rights attorney for the PNP in recent times. But some things went down and he was let go or he resigned, something to that nature. But let us talk about it. So yeah, guys, the PNP is relying on Vybz Kartel to help them win the next election. I can just imagine the shock on your faces. Unbelievable, right? They're even advocating to give Kartel a seat, Fitzjackson's seat in South St. Catherine. And guess what? Peter Bunting is threatening and saying that if Vybz Kartel is recruited to the PNP, he is going to leave the PNP. I'm going to tell you why he said that, but first, let's take this in stages. So as you guys know, Vybz Kartel was arrested and charged in September of 2011, and he was convicted in 2014. During and after his trial, while Peter Bunting was the Minister of National Security, Peter Bunting and Mark Golding, who was the Justice Minister at the time, their entire campaign against crime in the country and how to solve crime and what should be done to fix crime in the country was that dancehall was the problem. Kartel was the problem with scamming. And so much so that people were calling out Bunting, saying that he is prejudicing the case as it was before the court. If you guys remember correctly, Vybz Kartel recruited JLP member and current Senate President Tom Tavares to represent him. This was Peter Bunting and Mark Golding's campaign, dysfunctional element in Jamaican subculture. And this was the campaign against dancehall and Kartel's music and stuff like that. And this really pissed off the people in dancehall. So rather than being a national security minister, they were playing the role of campaigning against dancehall music and painting the picture that all of the artists were criminals.
Criminal gangs and criminal behavior. For example, coming back to scamming, a song by Vybz Kartel. Again, for those of you who may not know, this is Vybz Kartel. He is currently a guest of mine in the Correctional Services.
Bunting, the Minister of National Security.
So as you can see, he was going on about scamming, and as you know, Kartel was not in prison for scamming, right? But what is the job of a national security minister? The job description is to maintain law and order, public safety, and defense against aggression. And Bunting was not acting in that capacity here. Bunting was in Brooklyn, New York, being an advocate against dancehall music. Now, whether I agree with the content of dancehall music or not, that is beside the point. I have a choice to not listen to it, and as a parent, I have a choice to not let my child listen to it. But music of all genres have been around since before I was born. The way music influenced people or not is for a different topic, but I think you get the gist of what I'm talking about here. Can you believe that the same Bunting who ran this campaign against dancehall lyrics, music, and the dancehall artist actually asked these same dancehall artists for dub plate during the 2020 election? You can see the reaction of Rodney Price here where he basically said to Bunting, no, you're a hypocrite, get away. They haven't forgotten. Fast forward to July 31st, 2024. Vybz Kartel was released from prison after 13 years. Vybz Kartel was released because the appeal court in Jamaica decided not to do a retrial. According to the Privy Council in the UK, there were some technical issues that the appeal court in Jamaica should have resolved. So therefore, they sent the case back to the appeals court, and that was their decision. They will not retry because they had issues obtaining the same set of evidence and witnesses, and on the basis of health, Vybz Kartel's health. He suffers from Graves' disease. On the day of Kartel's release, he walked out of prison wearing all white and orange bandanas around his head and face and hanging from his pocket. Likewise, his co-accused. I don't know if it's symbolic to anything that Kartel was wearing orange on that day or any other day for that matter. I don't know Vybz Kartel's political preference or affiliation. Since his release, we've seen Kartel wearing orange, blue, white, and even yellow kerchief around his face and his head. So it's kind of hard for me personally to put some political symbolism to him wearing orange. He was asked about his orange bandana on a YouTube podcast in recent days, and I'm going to show you that and let you hear what he said. This is a photo of Vybz Kartel before he was arrested and convicted. He was doing a performance where he had a black bandana around his head. So I take it he has a liking to them, and, he uses them however he chooses. I don't see any political symbolism, but let's continue. So this is Mario Mitchell. Mario Mitchell is a member of the PNP and member of the Rise United movement within, led by Bunting and Golding. Mario Mitchell made some statements in recent times regarding Vybz Kartel's affiliation to the PNP, which raised a lot of people's eyebrows. And, it's as if he's been on a campaign for people to view Kartel as an affiliate of the PNP, and he even went as far as said that Kartel went to prison under the JLP government and he was set free by the PNP. Those are the words of Councillor Mitchell, who was a councillor alongside Peter Bunting. Now, guys, just to be clear, it is not my opinion or my view that Vybz Kartel has any affiliation with the PNP. I am just telling you what Mario Mitchell and that clique said regarding Kartel and the PNP. Now, when Mario Mitchell makes a statement that Kartel went to prison under JLP government and PNP set him free, Mario, as an elected official, is trying to give the public the impression that the JLP set up Kartel or somehow were against him. But we know the truth. The truth is that Paula Llewellyn, in her capacity as the country's top prosecutor, was in charge of the prosecution at the time. Mario, the elected official, is saying that because the PNP brought the extension of Paula Llewellyn's to court and she has demitted office, that somehow saved Kartel from a retrial. Now, we all know that that's not necessarily true. The appeals court made their decision and they handed it down. The interesting thing about this case where Paula Llewellyn is concerned is that there's been this relentless attack on her regarding the Vybz Kartel case. She even received death threats and was in police protection for some time. But I don't see any attack on the judge who the Privy Council blamed for not stopping the case. I honestly think one of the worst career choices is being a woman and a prosecutor at the same time. I remember this guy here who represents Vybz Kartel. He said publicly, repeated one of Vybz Kartel's song lyrics, which goes, and I quote, "Paula, go suck a D." And I'm saying, oh my gosh, really? You have to go that low to disagree with somebody? That's not right. That can't be right. And at that time, I started feeling empathetic toward Paula, you know? I've been critical of Paula sometimes, but I don't have to disrespect her to do that. And this is where maturity comes in. But anyway, let's move forward. For those of you who are not aware, Paula Llewellyn was there when Christopher Dudus Coke was extradited to the US. Yes, she was the prosecutor in Jamaica.
Come like me, I forgot to run PNP. Because talking, chatting, sometimes not going nowhere, you know. Sometimes you have to get involved. But we will see.
That's an idea, you know.
You know, I'm serious. But we will see.
All right, but if you were to run for MP, which constituency would it be?
But that have to be St. Catherine South.
All right, there you go. Oh, question. What's the symbolism of the orange bandar?
I mean, you know, say, they are prison, but that's like the color pack, instead of culture being a prison and thing. I don't know, for some strange reason, I don't know if that town will grow, or the community where I come from, but I just like the color, you know?
So the color has no symbolism, no meaning. It's just...
That is the meaning. I like color. I like color orange.
Okay. So it's not because time come or nothing like that.
Why if it come?
Oh, I forgot to take that up with Mark Golding because that's the slogan for it. That's the slogan.
Yeah.
All right.
With time forward in the street.
All right. See you there.
So guys, you see what's going on there. You see the words that are used. You see the mention of Mark Golding. And clearly that was to put something to the public, you know, to make mention of Mark Golding, talk about the orange, to talk about, you know, where he would run and so on and so forth. And the message was received by the Rise United movement faction as if Kartel was hinting at some affiliation with the PNP or leaving things hanging in the balance for interpretation. The gentleman you're looking at here, Fitzjackson, he's been a member of parliament since 1994 for South St. Catherine, the constituency Kartel just said that he would run for. Kartel said that he liked the color orange. He doesn't know if it's the community where he grew up in, which sounds like a PNP community. He also did not say what he would run as if he were to run for South St. Catherine. He didn't say, and he wasn't asked if he would run on a PNP ticket, JLP ticket, or independent. That would have been a crucial question, but maybe that was deliberately not asked. It's important to note that Fitzjackson is not a member of the Rise United movement within the PNP. He's a very strong-willed, strong-minded person who is a member of the PNP, but not Bunting and Golding's Rise United movement. So I don't think they would mind getting rid of Fitzjackson. And when I say they, I'm talking about those affiliated with Mark Golding and Peter Bunting. Just like they've gotten rid of all the other authentic PNP people, like Dr. Phillips, Lisa Hanna, all the others. The attempt on, you know, bringing Paul down and everything else. Everybody who follows this channel and follows the politics, they will know and can identify who the PNP people are versus the Rise United movement.
Virtue, I see out 5 bills a one. Gaza nation. Yeah, me a say no man. Gaza. Virtue, we have done a see out 5 bills a one. 5 bills a one for Gaza nation.
So basically, in the same way that the vendor is trying to sell her kerchiefs and saying, you know, Gaza nation, it's the same way that these political scavengers are trying to, you know, get a little clout off of Vybz Kartel, in my view. But there is a conflict, and that conflict is Peter Bunting's actions in the past. That still haunts him against dancehall, against dancehall artists, against dancehall culture. The dancehall fraternity in Jamaica will not back a Bunting or a PNP led by Bunting. And the PNP at this time is being led by Peter Bunting and Mark Golding. It's the same way the people in the PNP rejected Peter Bunting from being the leader in 2019. And it's the same way they rejected him in central Manchester when they voted him out in 2020. Bunting is not a nice person, and that's why he has become a national reject. And by extension, those affiliated with him will suffer the same fate. You saw him in New York City, Mark Golding right behind him as the Justice Minister. They were not acting in the capacity of their appointments, neither as Security Minister nor Justice Minister, going around the diaspora trying to demonize dancehall, trying to demonize music. So now, why is Bunting threatening to leave the PNP if Vybz Kartel is recruited? You hear what Vybz Kartel said? I don't know if he's serious or not when he said, he's thinking about it and, maybe I will and that kind of thing. I don't know if he's serious. You heard what he said in the beginning of the video since he came out of prison. Bun politics. I don't know if Kartel would want to be affiliated with an organization that Peter Bunting is a member of. But the reason why Bunting is saying that he would leave the PNP if Kartel is recruited is because Bunting has been watching social media. He has been watching, what Kartel said and watching the fanfare within his Rise United movement of, people who are so desperate for power, desperate for traction, really. People who would like for Kartel to come out and say, yeah, a PNP, me say, he's watching and listening, and he controls those little people, the Mario Mitchell and those kind of people. So he's making it abundantly clear, say, him scared. Because first of all, as bad as things may be, Kartel could have probably get more vote than Bunting anywhere in Jamaica. Bunting has a habit of fighting against people who are more popular than him and people who have more traction than him. It's the same thing that he did to Damian Crawford, Lisa Hanna, even Dr. Peter Phillips has more traction than Peter Bunting. So he has two fears. One, Kartel more popular than him. And two, he cannot look in Kartel's face after what he and Mark Golding did in the diaspora to dancehall and with Kartel music while he was before the court. I don't know if Kartel is aware of the instability of the PNP and the division within the PNP, because things are much different than, when he was a free man. But this is why we're here, to tell it as it is and to make the public aware. That is what this video is about. But it would be really sad if they try to, encourage Kartel or try to drag Kartel into politics without him knowing what is really going on, And when it comes down to Kartel and his lawyer now, Kartel probably has high regard for his lawyer, a man who helped set him free, based on technicality. So to sit there on the program and kind of play into the subliminal messaging, one can understand that, to have just come out and say, look here, man, my bun politics, just like he said first day he came out as he was, talking to somebody. I don't think he would have said that right then and there because, of the regard that he has for his lawyer. So it's a very interesting dynamic. What is going on now is that the Rise United movement are stuck in desperation mode. The Mark Golding cannot bring them any traction. There is no political groundswell in Jamaica for the People's National Party, who is in opposition, right? And there should be a groundswell because Andrew Holness has been there 2 terms. going on 3 terms. I am of the view that there should be term limit. I don't think PJ Patterson should have stayed as long as he did, and I certainly don't think that anybody should stay past 2 terms. But in a situation like this now, where there's no alternative, because, Bunting is no leader, Mark Golding worse. So what is Andrew supposed to do, If I were Andrew Holness, what I would do is, get the party to appoint or elect somebody to be leader going into the next election. I don't know why a man or a woman would want to stay in the people's faces 3 term, 4 term. That's ridiculous. You've done 2 terms, go home now. That's how I feel at this point in time. And that's what I wish that Andrew Holness would do, is to find another leader within this party and pass the baton. In America politics today, Joe Biden passed the baton to Kamala Harris, and the ground has been swelling ever since. There are 85 days left before election, and my prediction is a massive sweep of the Republican Party. So maybe that is why the Jamaican people are so apathetic. I honestly think that there should be term limits when time it come on to prime ministers in Jamaica. Nobody, whether they're doing good or not, should want to stay after 2 terms. Enough. Give somebody else a chance. Let somebody else come and continue to work or do a better job. That's how I feel at this time. And yes, even though there's no alternative, Andrew Holness can still do the same thing. Let's see what somebody else does in leading the country. But the thing is, the PNP believe that they have no message. And right now, they want to come and use popularity. Because them did run with Lisa Hanna and say, Bunting, me tell you, no, Bunting not like people were popular. They run with Lisa Hanna and say, popularity no mean nothing. But now them a try harp on Kartel's popularity for the moment, which is counterproductive. They don't know if they want to be popular or not. But them run with people who are popular because them bad mind and them don't like women. You understand? So they're hoping now that Jamaica people will look at the JLP and say, Andrew, we're tired of you and we're going to vote for them people here in our opposition just because we're tired of you. I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. No. But you know what that may cause? A very, very low voter turnout. What can happen in a low voter turnout? Anything. I am going to leave off this video by saying the JLP should not strive to do a PJ Patterson with a 3 and 4 term on the people living in the country. Don't do that. And if you guys are real patriotic Jamaicans, let somebody else come and take on a party into the next election, and do not put the country at risk for another low voter turnout. Let the people of Jamaica become excited again, because they're very apathetic. And I think that the prospect of a 3rd term with the same face, it's not necessarily the same party, but the same face, could be partly the reason, in addition to the fact that there's no alternative in the PNP. The PNP has a set of people now leading it who are seeking national political relevance, and they're not getting it. It's been about 4 years. We've never seen anything like this. There is no groundswell, right? No matter what them say, them not a plan, so anything else that they come with, people are tune out. Our politics shouldn't be that way, right? So I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. I'll chat with you again very soon. Take care of yourselves and keep it locked here to Jamaica Politics Uncovered, where you get all your political news, reviews, and updates. I'll catch you in the next video.